Okay, now we're going to take a look at the solo from Black Dog, and before we kind of enter this solo, I just want to point out that this is an improvised affair, and the timing and the phrases are kind of all over the place a little bit. Something you'll find with a lot of Jimmy Page's solos, he was quite a reckless soloist. Maybe you could say in places it was sloppy, but at the end of the day it was someone just, you know, going for it. It was live and it was real and it was organic. So, you know, maybe if some of the licks don't make that much sense, take pieces out of them which are, you know, kind of stylized and that you know, maybe turn into licks of your own that you feel a little more comfortable with when you're playing over the backing tracks. Anyway, this solo is made up predominantly of two scales. It's the A major pentatonic and the A minor pentatonic, and as I mentioned earlier, they're mixed together and they form what's known as the hybrid pentatonic. Anyway, what I'm going to do is just play this solo section at a time, and then we'll take a look at it. Here we go. Here's the opening lick. Okay, kicks off with an open E to an F sharp on the 2nd fret of the bottom E, open A to a C note on the 3rd fret A, bent slightly sharp. So then we go back to the F sharp. So C, open A, F sharp, open bottom E and open A. Then we have this little figure. Okay, kind of a country-inspired lick. Starts off by playing open A, sliding into the 4th fret A, 2nd fret D to 4th fret D, 2nd fret G. So we go back and forth between the 2nd fret G and the 4th fret D. Then we slide from the 4th fret up to the 6th fret on the G, and then play the 5th fret top E, and then an open A. Okay, a little bit of position shifting going on, but if you break it down and practice it slowly, you shouldn't have too much of a problem with it. This figure concludes with a little string bending lick, which is bending 5 up a whole tone on the G string and then playing the same pitch. It's like a unison bend on the 3rd fret of the B, so you get this. Then 5, 4, 2, 4 on the D, and then 2 to 4 on the G. So then that repeats. Okay, now we're going to take a look at our next section from the solo. Okay, again, the timing of this lick is going to probably be the main thing. It's very, you know, free form, if you like, and very expressive, almost, you know, sort of quite vocal, which is often a trait of, you know, many of the traditional blues players. So we start off by sliding into the C sharp on the 6th fret of the G, and then go between 5 on the top E and 5 on the B. So there's A, E, A. So then we bend the B note up a whole tone to C sharp. That's 7 up to 9 on the top E. Then back between B and A, so 7 to 5 on the top E, and then that's just 5 on the B, 5 on the E, back to 5 on the B, and then slide 8 up to 10 on the B string. Play it slowly. Here's our next phrase, which I obviously played for you just a second ago, but broken down. Okay, so we play, I'll play into it actually because it makes it a little bit easier for you to understand. Okay, so we're sliding in to our new position from 8 up to the 10. Then we play 8 on the top E, bend 10 up a whole tone, let it down, then back to 8, and then play 10 again, back down to 8, bend slightly sharp, and then play 10 on the B string, and then 8 on the top E. So slowly. Obviously, you know, feel free to experiment with these licks and, you know, kind of make them your own. That lick finishes off with this figure, which is basically playing 10 on the B, then playing 10 on the E, bending it up, releasing it, playing 8 on the E, and then bending 10 up. So the whole of that intro section nice and slowly. Here we go. 3, 4. Okay, here's our next section. Here we go. Okay, again, that little phrase that I just played is very free form with its rhythm. It's very hard to sort of pinpoint where, you know, the licks are falling. So, as I said, make sure you check the original out before you attempt these, or at least to try and get a little bit of the kind of feel and character of what was recorded. We start off by there's actually an open G string, which is as he comes into this lick, but I think that was just obviously as he was moving position. We bend 15 up a whole tone on the B string, play 15 on the top E, then release our bend and pull off to 13. Bend 15 up again on the B, then play 15. Then we play 13 on the B, 14 on the G, bend 15 up a whole tone on the B, and then play 13. If I put it in context with the opening lick, it should make hopefully a little more sense for you. Okay, now we're going to move into probably one of the hardest sections for you to phrase. Unfortunately, again, it's going to be really hard for you to place exactly where the beat is in this section. So I think what I'll do is I'll just play it through for you, and you can get the general idea of, you know, what notes are being played. And then, like I said, probably best for you to practice along with the, you know, the original. Make sure you get all the phrasing. Here we go. Okay, now this section is very free form, as you can probably hear. Starts off by bending 19 up a whole tone on the G string, playing 17 on the top E. Then we do the bend again, 17 on the B, 17 on the E. Bend 20 up a whole tone on the B string. Play 20 on the top E, re-pick our bent up string and release it which was 20 bent up to 22. So you've got this. Okay, again, really, really lazy and very loose with the timing. I'll play it for you slowly. Here's our next figure. Okay, starts off by playing 17 on the B and bending 19 up a whole tone, 17 on the top E to 20 on the B string, then play 17 on the B, slide 20 up to 22 on the B, hold the note and then slide back, play 17 on the B, bend our 19 on the G up a whole tone, and then grab the 20 with your little finger on the B string. If I put that in context with our previous lick, it might start to make a little bit of sense to you. Here we go. Okay, then we actually rest, play nothing, and come in with this closing phrase. Here we go. Okay, very lazy bend, 20 up to 22 on the B. Play 20 on the top E. Release the bend after you repick it. 17 on the B. Bend 19 up to 21, then play 19, that's on the G string, 17 on the G, 19 on the D, and then 19 on the G to 17. So, okay, I'm going to play our previous section and our new section together nice and slowly so you can get an idea of how they fit together. Here we go. Okay, you can appreciate that it's, again, quite difficult on timing because there is no real reference to timing for a lot of those licks, apart from things like they're the only licks that are really kind of grouped into, like I said, some coherent sort of form. Anyway, here's our next lick. Here we go. Okay, it's some classic Jimmy Page sort of repetition lick, nice and easy and nice and structured as well. We start off by playing the 7th fret of the G string, bend that up, play 5 on the B and E, and then pull off 8 to 5 on the B, and just repeat that for 3 bars. Our final bar plays this little figure, which is pulling off 8 to 5 on the B, play 7 on the G, 5 on the B, 7, 5 on the G, play 7 on the D, and then pull off 7 to 5 quickly on the G and bend the 5 slightly sharp. So you get this. Okay, a little more up to speed. 3, 4, and... Okay, something to get your teeth into with some, you know, kind of form there. Okay, here's our next section. 2, 3, 4. Again, very kind of stuttery phrasing, mixing up eighth note and quarter note triplets. Start off by playing 7 to 5 and back to 7 on the D string, 5 on the G to 7 on the D, and then 5 on the G and bend 7 up. So we get this. So the timing is 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, make sure you cut that final bend off. Then we play 7 on the D, followed by a fast little triplet pick on the 7th fret of the G. Let that tie over, bend up, whole tone, then play 7. Then we have this figure, which is 5 on the G, 7 on the D, 5 on the G, to 8 on the B. Okay, play together nice and slowly. 2, 3, 4. Okay, here's our final bar from this section. 2, 3, 4. Okay, start off by bending up the 7 a whole tone on the G, back down, 5 on the G to 7 on the D and back to 5 on the G, then 7 on the G string, and then have a little chromatic run between 5, 6 and 7 on the D string that takes us into our next section. I'll play from the loop pattern section nice and slowly so you can hear it all fitting together. Here we go. Okay, that was that section. Here's our next figure. I'll start off by playing the little chromatic run at the end of the previous bar. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, kind of an unusual little figure. Just basically playing 5, 6 and 7 on the D. Play 5 on the G. And up to 7 on the G. Then the same chromatic figure and back to 5. Then the chromatic figure back up to 7. So I'll play all of those through so you can hear me change between 5 and 7 on the G string. Here we go. This next one sounds almost like a little bit of a mistake. Starts off by playing 5 to 6 on the D. Then we play 7 on the A string. Then we play 2 fast picks on 5 on the A string, the D note. Play 3 on the A to 4, and then play 3, slide down to 2 on the bottom E. So here's the whole figure. 2, 3. So kind of an unusual sounding phrase. We then move back into a lick which is kind of similar to the one that we saw at the front end of the solo, based around a little country idea. I'll play it for you first of all. So that was that figure, which we've already seen. This time, instead of doing that lick, we have another rather unusual lick, which we slide into the 5th fret of the A string, and then we play the F natural note on the 3rd fret of the D. We then play 5 to 3 and then to 4 on the A string, and then slide the 3rd fret of the bottom E down to the 2nd fret. So you get this. Okay, after that rather unusual lick, we have the country lick one more time, but this time it ends, the ending is slightly different, so I'll play it for you and then we'll take a look. Here we go. Okay, exactly the same sliding pattern up to the 4th fret. So 2 on the D up to 4, 2 on the G, 4 on the D, 2 on the G, slide 4 up to 6, and this time we play 5 on the B and on the top E. Slide up to the 10th fret from the 8th fret on the B, play 8 on the top E, then bend 10 up a whole tone on the top E. Sounds a little like this. Okay, from this point on, there's lots of repetitive licks, which are basically bending 10 up a whole tone and then back down again. We also include the C note on the 8th fret of the E. We just bend that slightly sharp, so you get these kind of licks. Is the next group. 2, 3, 4. More of the same kind of blues phrasing, just lots of very sort of standard sounding blues lines. The one lick I'd like to just touch on, which is Jimmy Page is renowned for some of the slightly wider string bends that he plays, and at the outro of this solo we have this little lick which is just tailing off as the track fades. We're playing 10 on the B, and then we bend the 13th fret right the way up to the 17th fret, so it's a big bend. I'll do that without the open G. Great string bending practice, and just showed that although sometimes maybe Jimmy's soloing approach was a little not maybe sloppy, aggressive, whatever you want to call it, there was also a lot of finesse in there with his pitching of bends and touch and vibrato, etc. Anyway, that concludes Black Dog.